Hey, it's Dr. Jared, and in this video, I want to help you to get rid of your lateral elbow pain. To get started, try this out real quick. I want you to extend your arm out in front of you with the elbow straight and the wrist straight and your fingers spread out. Now with your other hand, push down on your middle finger, but resist that motion. If that recreates that sharp pain right up here in your elbow, congratulations, that is tennis elbow, or lateral epicondylitis is how we would term that in the medical field. This is an overuse injury of the muscles that extend your wrist and extend your fingers. In this video, I wanted to show you how to take care of it. I wanted to show you 4 simple steps that you can do at home that will not only eliminate pain in that area right now, but keep it from coming back in the future, which is ultimately what we're all after. So that being said, I hope this helps you out. Let's get going. The first thing we need to do is get pain and inflammation under control at your elbow. The easiest ways to do this are first with ice, and so put ice on that area for about 15 minutes on and then take it off for 15 minutes and then repeat that a couple of times throughout the day. 2, medications, whatever anti-inflammatory medication that you can take it according to the recommendations on the bottle to again try to get that inflammatory response and pain under control. And then 3, activity modification. If you're doing something that hurts your elbow, you want to either give that up or modify it in such a way that it no longer hurts. I have found that the braces that you can buy, those straps that you can put right here around your elbow, are effective if you must still continue to do an activity and can't give it up altogether. That's an easy way to mitigate that pain. I'll go ahead and link to a few of my favorites in the description down below. But it's important to note that if all we do are these things, we're not doing anything to control the cause of the pain. These will help the pain and the symptoms to feel better, but we need to do things that are going to address the root cause of the pain, the tendonitis in that elbow, and that's where we're going next. So the first thing that I want to start with is actually some massage or some cross friction massage to that elbow. Get a little bit of some lotion and we're going to rub that right on the outside of the elbow. That helps things to slide and glide a little bit easier. Now what you're going to do, the fibers on all of these muscles and tendons run down towards your wrist. And so what I want you to do is go laterally across your wrist. You're going to find a big bump, a big bony prominence right here on the outside of your elbow. The pain should be in that spot and around that spot. So if you come right off of that, you're going to feel some kind of hard rope-like structures. Those are the tendons that we're after right there. We're going to work that back and forth. Now, this is going to be a little tender to start, and the first 30 to 60 seconds of this might be a little tender in there, but what you should notice is that as that starts to loosen up, your tolerance towards that is going to improve. Basically, what we want to do is improve healing in this area. We want to break up kind of junky scar tissue that's in that tendon and promote new tissue and new healing to occur. That's the simplest way to do it, is with your hands. I also like to do this, it's a little more aggressive, but I find it a little more effective with a butter knife. Do not use the blade on the butter knife. We're going to flip that over and we're going to use the dull handle part. Now a lot of people find it even a little more comfortable if we roll the blade up in a small washcloth or hand towel. So again, that's just the handle on my knife. And now what we can do is get in there and kind of dig a little bit deeper. What I recommend with this is you actually go down a little further, so we can go all the way kind of down through those forearm muscles to loosen them up and to kind of promote this healing in that area. And so we want to come from the top down to that bump again, and we want to go from the bump down. We can hit it in all different directions, and basically we want to go for about 3 to 5 minutes on this, just to kind of stimulate and promote that healing and get that tissue ready for some of the next things that I'm going to show you. Now that those muscles and tendons are all loosened up, our next step is to stretch them out. I've got 3 that I want you to perform. The first one is going to be for your wrist extensors. So you're going to bring your arm in front of you with your elbow straight, and then we're going to pull the wrist down towards the ground. With that other hand, you're going to cup your hand and cup kind of the back of your knuckles, and then pull that wrist in towards you just until we get a good, comfortable stretch all through the top part of the forearm right here. That should be stretching all of those wrist extensor muscles. That one should feel pretty good. I would have you hold that for 20 seconds, And then let's move into a wrist flexor stretch. So I like to keep things balanced on both sides of the forearm. Now what we're going to do is pull the hand up towards you. With my opposite hand, I'm going to hook my fingers, and then I'm going to pull towards my body. Again, keeping my elbow nice and straight until we get a good comfortable stretch right here on the wrist flexors, on the wrist and finger flexors. And what we would do is hold that for 20 seconds, and then what I typically recommend is we alternate those. So 20 seconds down, 20 seconds up, and then you're going to repeat that 3 times. Now, honestly, my favorite stretch for this, I did have this a few years back. This is the stretch that I did all the time, is we're going to take that painful side and we're going to pronate the forearm. That means we're going to turn the thumb down towards the floor, internally rotate at your shoulder, so we're in this position right here. Now with my other hand, I'm going to reach over the top of it and interlock my fingers. Now with this hand, with my left hand, I'm going to pull my right hand in that direction. So it's kind of confusing to get into. I'm going to come up here and then I'm going to pull in this direction right here. But what you're going to find is that as we put the hand in this pronated position and then flex it as well, that results in an even better stretch through those forearm muscles. And then the same parameters on this one, 20 seconds, 3 times. Really, you can do this one all day long. I recommend 3 to 5 times on this, and you should notice a significant improvement in how that spot starts to feel. Our next step would be to move into some active range of motion. Basically, we just want to get those tendons and muscles used to moving again. The simplest way to do that is with wrist flexion and extension. So you're just going to sit with your hand, with your forearm nice and relaxed and supported, either on a desk or you can even do it right here on your lap. And then what we're going to do is just pull that hand back towards us, hold 1, 2, 3, and then pull it down towards the ground and hold 1, 2, 3. So basically, we're just coming up and down nice and slow, nice and in control. We're getting those, again, we're getting those muscles and tendons used to moving without any resistance or without anything taxing them, without any of that overuse stimulus. And usually what I'll do is I'll just set about a 1-minute timer on this. And then the other thing I like to do is bring your wrist into a neutral position. Now we're going to open the hand and fingers and then close the hand and fingers. And so it's going to work that area a little bit differently. You're still going to feel that right up here in the lateral epicondyle, but we're using different muscles in a slightly different way. And then again, I would set about a 1-minute timer for this, and that is your active range of motion activity. Now, if you've been following along with the exercises in this video until now, your elbow probably feels pretty good. But I made you a promise in the introduction. I said I would help it to not only feel better now, but prevent pain from coming back. And that's where strengthening comes in. One of the main causes of this lateral tennis elbow pain is weakness in the muscles in your forearm. And so strengthening these areas is what's going to help it from coming back. These are the exercises that I recommend for that. The first thing we're going to do is get into some eccentric wrist extension. What I want you to do is find a dumbbell. Usually I start with 1 or 2 or 3 pounds. If you don't have one available, grab a water bottle or a soup can, just something that you can hold in your hand and give it a little bit of resistance. Our starting position is right here. I've got my forearm supported, a bend in my wrist, and then that weight is down towards the floor. What you're going to do is with your other hand, grab the weight and pull it up towards the ceiling. So we help it up into this position and then slowly lower right back down to that starting position. That is the eccentric or negative part of that contraction. Studies have shown that that's a little bit better at promoting healing in those tendons. And so you would repeat this for about 10 repetitions, and then we would repeat that 3 times. So 3 sets of 10 reps on these eccentric wrist extensions. Now, to keep things even, what we want to do is work the muscles on the other side of the forearm. Roll your hand over, so now we're going to go palm up. This is going to be some resisted wrist flexion. So from this position right here, you're going to curl that weight up towards the ceiling using the muscles right here on this side of your forearm. Hold 2 or 3 seconds and then return right back down to the starting position. And again, this is going to be for the wrist and finger flexors. So important that we keep them strong so that they can bear their load without putting more stress on the wrist extensors. And again, about 3 sets of 10 is a great number to shoot for with this exercise as well. Next, I want to do some resisted finger extension. And so the easiest way to do this is with a rubber band. I've actually got 3 rubber bands here. Start with one that's kind of small and kind of light. What you're going to do is wrap it around the outside of your fingers, so it's around my fingertips, kind of around my fingernails. and then you can extend your fingers against the resistance of that rubber band. So I'm going to open my hand as wide as I can, hold 1, 2, 3 seconds, and then return right back down. You can do this with your arm supported. You don't have to put it out like I was. I was just trying to show you with a better camera angle. And so what we're going to do is repeat this about 10 to 15 times. This is a great way to strengthen, again, these muscles a little bit differently. We're working on finger extension here versus wrist and hand extension in that first one. Now, if that's too easy, I mentioned I've got multiple rubber bands, we can start to stack those on, and so they add a little more resistance. So if your pain is really acute, maybe you just use one. If you're later in your healing stages, you can start to wrap more and more rubber bands around there to increase the resistance and to increase the strength in those muscles. Now, the last exercise is going to work on closing our hand or increasing our grip strength. The easiest way to do that is with one of these grip trainers. There's quite a few of these out there. I've got a few of my favorites linked down below, but we're just going to work on increasing strength in our grip with this. If you don't have that available and don't want to purchase one, a rolled up towel can do the same thing. So if you roll up a towel, and now what I'm going to do is squeeze and hold 1, 2, 3 seconds and then relax, squeeze and hold 1, 2, 3 seconds and relax, and feel these muscles right here on the front part of your forearm working as we do that. We're going to squeeze and we're going to hold for about 3 seconds, and then we're going to relax, and then we want to repeat that about 10 to 15 times, and then do that for 3 sets. So 3 sets of about 10 to 15 reps on this grip exercise. Now, if you need more help with your hand, wrist, or elbow pain, I've got you taken care of here on Tone and Tighten. Check out this video right here. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd love to see you back for future videos. Hit the circle right here to subscribe to the channel. I hope this helps, and I hope you feel better, and I hope to see you back here again soon.